league stages of the Party Poker Premier League Mixed Game Championship conclude tonight as our Group B players battle it out to secure a final table seat. Let's see what happened last time out.
Last time out, Ben Carpenter ended his Premier League.
I'll just spite bust you if you start bullying me. I don't really care about going through. All in. Can I just hit one thing instead of just running bad every time I get my money in? Yeah, of course. Can't be bothered to shake everyone's hand, but good luck.
Mike Sexton made a momentous fold.
You punch the move all in without a flush here. No way you think I can fold this. I made it straight on the turn.
Wow. What a fold.
Go on, Mike Sexton. Go on, Mike Sexton. And Sorel and Yevgeny pulled away from the rest of the table.
Never ends, does it? I get owned by Timoshenko again.
They just keep trying to rob you.
Did you see my cards? No. Because you've been spot on every single time.
Wish I could see the gears moving inside of Yevgeny's head.
I'm impressed, man.
Coming up, who will crack as the pressure mounts to reach the final table?
In my opinion, if he shows you two aces, you have to call.
I would never tell someone they made a bad play. I would never do that. When someone just loses a big hand, I would never sit there and tell someone they made a bad play. That's not my personality.
Do you acknowledge that it was a bad play, or are you saying that...
I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
When we're playing a Premier League poker, you don't really expect to see plays like that. That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry that affected you guys, but I am playing for myself.
The only reason is he would rather have Yevgeny on the final than you.
I'll tell you right now, that's not the reason, okay?
Tensions are high. Have a look at the Group B standings right now. Feldman with 18 points, Frankenberger with 14. They're basically at the final table guaranteed. Mike Sexton on 9, Sorel Mizzi on 8. Carpenter's out and finished on 4, while Timoshenko has 1. Timoshenko, though, playing his double-up card along with Andy Frankenberger, so he can still get to the final with a first or second place finish, but those three all have to outlast each other. That's what Mike Sexton and Sorel Mizzi are thinking right now. And look now at the chip counts. Sorel Mizzi pole position with 694K. Timoshenko, though, close behind on 467. And Sexton's already jumped out this plane. He ain't wearing a parachute.
It's been a good heat so far for Sorel Mizzi. Talk to us about your progress.
Well, I believe I'm chip leader right now. Me and Yevgeny are pretty close, which kind of creates an interesting dynamic since if he comes in first and I come in second, I can't win. But if I win and he comes in second, then I will advance. So it's kind of a big difference, obviously. And there's a few situations where if he busts earlier and if I come second, then I'll win. But it's like right now it doesn't look like that's going to happen because he has so many chips.
Well, good luck out there. Thank you.
And you do have big chips. Too risky.
This is so going to come down to Timoshenko and Sorel Mizzi, right? I mean, these are the. I'm not no disrespect to Mike, obviously he doesn't have any chips, but like everybody else just seems a little bit out to lunch. And between Sorel and Timoshenko, they're like.
Well, in all honesty, when I saw the original groupings, these are the two guys in this group that I expected were going to get through. It was surprising to me that they're both having to scrap it out to even get to the final, let alone they're both not going to be there. So yeah, I think we're going to get a treat. I think we're going to get a battle between these two. Wow. Wow, here we go.
Wow. Made it straight on the turn.
Whoever was that?
Now,
well, Mizzi's going to get let off the hook, that's all we do know.
For Timoshenko, okay, Frankenberger's re-raise, so is there any reason for Timoshenko to think about not getting it all in? There's not really, is there?
Well, I mean, he kind of has to get it in him, but this is the point. He's worried what happens if he ends up dragging Sorel into heads up, and then he finds himself in a position where Sorel then gets enough points. At some point, he needs to make chips himself, but he keeps in situations where he's taking the chips off Feldman and Frankenberger, and he really needs to start.
He wants to take one of them through with him.
Yeah, he can't let Sorel bully either of those two.
I bet the pot.
211.
All right, here we go.
I repot.
All in.
I think that's pretty much it.
My bet here.
211,000.
Right, he's asking how much it is, but he can't fold here. He's putting 200. He's only got 90 back.
211, including the 30.
Yeah.
He's confused here. He's not liking this, but I think he hasn't realised how many chips he already put in.
I believe him. So that's
I'm not sure he's even got enough to raise the pot with his money.
So 111 more.
Well, he calls 66, and then he raises whatever is in here. So
I had a similar spot in my last heat.
Yeah, and you didn't think too long about it.
No, I mean,
are you more of a gambler?
Well, it's still such a big long shot that thing comes in, and you want to kind of assure yourself. My spot was way more of a fold than this was, so I went with that.
Right. I mean, if Frankenberger, obviously he probably should have thought a little more because he shouldn't have repotted with the queens.
Yeah.
I mean, there would have been more of an argument for him to
fold.
flat.
You could just fold if he doesn't want to play the hand. I mean, you have to rule out Yevgeny of being involved in this, and the guy's perfect. Look at him. he's got a guy to put in over 200,000. He might fold for 90 more when he's got the best hand before the flop. Wow! Oh, I thought he was reaching.
Amazing.
No.
Oh my Lord!
Wow.
How? How? How?
Wow.
And listen to Mike, it's impossible.
Wow.
So what are you doing?
I got a show.
It's impossible to throw it away. If you get two
I just
aces,
did
it's
it.
impossible to throw it away.
I can't believe I just saw that hand.
You can't throw away a deuce three.
I just did it.
I saw it.
There's other things at stake here. Chipping up the final table.
It's impossible.
We all have our interests, man.
I mean, in my opinion, if he shows you two aces, you have to call.
Yeah, but I would never tell someone they made a bad play. I would never do that. When someone just loses a big hand, I would never sit there and tell someone they made a bad play. That's not my personality.
Okay. You're right. You're right. I apologize.
Do you acknowledge that it was a bad play, or are you saying that?
I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
And let's be very clear about one thing. Despite what people might be saying,
4-on-1,
Frankenberger paid $25,000 of his own money. Okay, he's gotten a second and a first so far. He had his double up card. He can do whatever the heck he wants.
I'm still in this tournament, and I'm pretty comfortable with my position, so I think I made a fine decision. I'm sorry that it affected you guys, but I am playing for myself.
That's fine. You do whatever you want, but I just feel for those two guys. That's all.
Do you really feel for? When's the last time at a poker table that you felt for someone else?
It's irrelevant about us.
Yeah.
No,
when's the last time?
honestly.
Because you felt you made the best play, then
felt
that's fine.
you felt for them. What the
I
hell is
agree.
that?
I think it's irrelevant about us. Don't feel sorry for us. That I totally agree with.
But when we're playing a Premier League poker, you don't really expect to see plays like that. That's all I'm saying.
No, you shouldn't say that. That's bad. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there might be a really good reason why he did what he did.
But in my eyes, the only reason is he would rather have Yevgeny on the final than you. That's how
I'll tell you right now, that's not the reason, okay? Nothing against either of them. I was not thinking about Yevgeny versus Sorel, okay? I don't think either of them buy that logic.
I think it would be like good for TV if you like explained your thought process.
Yeah.
You know what?
If he doesn't want to, then I'm sure he'll be out.
You know, I've never really seen Sorel get sort of tilted or hot under the collar at the table. I mean, he's a pretty cool character. That's about the most I've ever seen him go after someone.
Well, the funny thing is, you've seen this hand go off between Anya Frankenberger and Yevgeny Timoshenko, and the two people who got the most to say about it, look most upset about it, were Sorel Mizzi and Mike Sexton. They weren't even in the hand.
Yeah.
But they were the biggest losers in the hand.
If I won yesterday, then I would. How many points are you on? If I won yesterday, then if I got second,
and he's raised the pot with Ace King.
I think it would.
Which I guess, I mean, he kind of has to take.
I'm not sure. I mean, what is Yevgeny supposed to think? This is the guy. This is the guy.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, if Yevgeny knows, he'll probably fold. But he has to raise, kind of thing. It's
Yevgeny has to re-raise here.
Knowing what he knows, he just has to rip
I mean,
I
don't even know. Yeah, he's got an ace. It doesn't even matter what Yevgeny has. He can't respect himself in the morning after what he's been shown if he doesn't repot this.
I bet pot.
Oh yeah, I call.
I mean, this is the mistake. If he's folding the queen, he can't be putting it in here.
It's a definitely.
I mean, this is just basically an admission that he knows he made a mistake before.
That's the only way to see it.
Yeah. I mean, why would you fold the queens for?
I don't understand.
Why would you fold the queens with 700,000 in the middle, then put Ace King when there's 100,000 in the middle?
And that's what Sorel's saying.
That maybe I shouldn't call.
Oh.
But I also didn't want to make it seem like we're colluding, because I usually don't fold in these spots.
I mean, I think everyone knows you're not. So.
I'm actually gobsmacked.
Yeah,
I actually now I'm really confused.
If he thought he was right before, then he's wrong now, and if he thought he was wrong before, then he's right now. But he's admitting one of them is wrong.
Now I'm yeah.
Well, as it happens, he's going to double up, so.
Thank you.
He's really not kidding. This is the funny thing, Sorrel really isn't kidding there. I think Andy knows that. He doesn't look happy. You know, he's sort of go away Sorrel.
This has been an emotional...
things are heating up.
Yeah, and we still have the final table to go, and, and all the personalities are going to come back. But I'm so confused. And I think everyone is too, because you know, Frankenberger, obviously, that really did nothing for him. That's
almost like an insult to Sorrel and Mike, that is. You know, when that happens, they're like, well, why didn't you just get it in before? You know,
let's be clear. Sexton is now too angry to even speak. He can't even think of anything to say.
I think there's a chance he's just going to get up and walk away from the table.
Over to Kara Scott now, who's catching up with Andy Frankenberger.
Andy, you came in as one of the big leaders here, so let's talk about how this heat's going for you so far.
Yeah, I made obviously a big laydown that a lot of people think was crazy, but everyone's got their best interest in mind. And if you look back at who's criticizing the play the most, it's the people who wanted me to make the call the most. So that's part of this game. I accept it.
So the Queen's laydown, was that a points-driven decision?
It was based on my desire to win this entire tournament, not my desire to win anything other than this entire tournament.
Welcome back from the Playboy Club London for the last league match for Group B, the Pot Limit Hold'em. There's just one seat open for the final table. Will it be Mike Sexton, Yevgeny Timoshenko, or Sorrel Mitzi who takes it? Let's get back to the Feld.
You know, as great as a table full of banter is, a silent table, when it's silenced through tension, is even better. If Sexton does wait a little bit before getting his chips in, it's going to really cramp everyone else's style.
I don't think it'll be long till he, any kind of hand, he's going to want to get it in over the top of someone.
And it's fairly counterintuitive, because from Yevgeny and Sorrel's point of view, whether or not Sexton gets his money, it shouldn't matter then. They have to just kind of keep on
Here we go.
going.
Feldman just sort of going at it again. He's the guy who just keeps banging his head against the wall. He hasn't figured out it hurts yet. You know, he stops for a few minutes, then tries again. Maybe it'll work.
I mean, I guess.
Oh wow. Okay. I think Mike has to go with this. You know,
I'll tell you
he
what.
knows this.
Mike's got like 7,000 chips more than Feldman. Feldman could probably find a fold here.
Yeah. Feldman will think, well, he's definitely got a bet.
Just gotta play something. Come on.
Here we go. Go on, Mike.
Here we go, Mike. I think Timoshenko's got a fairly easy pass.
Yeah, Timoshenko will I'm pretty certain, fold here.
And Feldman...
Feldman has to sort of embarrassingly turn over his 6 high.
Consider throwing his hand away against it. And I should have probably thrown it away.
No, Mike, you shouldn't.
Just going to gamble. I'm hoping that's what he's got.
I got aces.
9s or 10s. You got aces?
Feldman telling me he's got aces. The reverse slow roll.
Oh my golly, you're kidding me.
Oh boy.
And Mike's thinking, I nearly folded this hand. That's what he's thinking. I nearly folded this hand.
Oh, please don't do it. Don't do it. It's not going to happen. Come on, Mike. It's not going to happen, is it?
Oh, wow. Action.
That's fair.
Action.
It's fair. I'll take that flop.
I don't think it's fair at all.
Mike's got, he's still the favourite, but he's definitely lost a fair bit of his edge.
Or 9.
Or 9. Or a queen.
Oh,
then ace of jack.
I'm scared. I feel bad.
Oh,
God.
So we want to see.
Well,
he tried really hard after his straight.
He really did. He really did. And he's such a classy guy, Mike Sexton's going to shake everyone's hand. There's no hard feelings. It's a poker table. It's a poker game. And Sexton has he's been involved in some amazing hands this mixed game championship.
Yeah,
I mean, 3 huge river decisions. And this one in this heat, he got it stone right.
The first time I make a move. First time.
And we've lost Mike from this heat, and unfortunately that means you don't go through to the final table. Explain to us how the league standings and the point system has really changed the way people are playing against each other at the table.
Well, it does, depending on who you have to finish higher than to get more points than them to advance to the final. Sometimes you would play a pot against a guy, a hand you might not ever play, because he's the guy you have to eliminate for you to advance. So there is some strategy and tactics that go along with it, you know, other than just playing poker. In fact, it's just as important or more so than playing poker itself, is understanding what you need to do to get there.
The history of the Premier League is littered with tension-filled times like this. One guy goes forward, the other goes home. The others are spoilers. It's all set for business. And what a match we've got right now between Mizzy and Timoshenko. Certainly two of the best in their field.
You haven't had dinner yet? Or 11:30? Yeah, I haven't eaten.
Two pass.
I have figured out, James, all the possible permutations, and it's very simply that Sorel just has to beat Timoshenko. The only wrinkle to that is that if Sorel gets knocked out in fourth, he can still go through if Timoshenko gets knocked out immediately after.
Well, here we go. I think this is the spot where we're going to see a pot.
And because Feldman just 3-bet him and showed the 5-6, that makes you want a 3-bet here, right?
Yeah, and everything else that's been going on. And he's just not going to fold this one. They're going to get it in. And if Timoshenko holds up, he's going to get a real stranglehold on his place in the final.
Oh, boy. Huh.
Wow. And this is a real tough spot for Sorel.
Just talk me through Sorel's thought process here. What's the most important consideration?
Sorel at this point, well, I mean, everything is a consideration. He's thinking, you know, Timoshenko's opening range is nice and wide. Feldman's 3-betting, but I mean, he's thinking he's definitely capable of 3-betting light. Would he do it after all the stuff that's just gone on? And the answer is he probably would, because he's been playing quite crazy, you know, all the way through the Premier League.
Okay, so nines is definitely ahead of both their ranges.
That's what he's thinking at this point, but he has to risk a lot to do it, and he's going to do this, and now he's going to absolutely cringe when Timoshenko doesn't instantly fold his hand.
Right, and just the other thing right now is that Sorel, these guys are both playing deep enough that Sorel has done this 4-bet has in no way committed him.
No, I mean,
and that's why he did it quite quickly.
And well, it's one of those things. He's done it. He's not really considered Timoshenko in this pot. You know, he's thinking, when I cold 4-bet here, Timoshenko's never really coming into it. He's not even thinking about Timoshenko.
Oh,
at this
so
point.
He is committing himself against Feldman's chips all the time.
He is committing himself against Feldman all the time. But what's going to happen here is he's going to get a horrible surprise. I mean, he is hating it at the moment when Timoshenko's tanking. They know what each other are capable.
Look at that look!
They know Sorel just wants the whole world to gobble him up right now. He hates this. Here we go. He's sort of made it about 200,000.
Which means it kind of looks like he might
have a way out this pot. Yeah, he's made it like he might just fold. There's room.
There is room.
He's made it a minimum plus 5,000. Feldman's thinking, what have I done?
What level of decision is this for Sorel? I mean, I know that Timoshenko could be at it, but I mean, you say when Sorel puts him in, he's got it. How got it is nines right now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Sorel's going to put this in. He can't really expect Timoshenko to fold. But, you know, these two guys have a lot of history. They've definitely played in a number of tournaments all over the world. They've got in very awkward situations before. So it's hard to know exactly what level they're both thinking.
Because there is this weird aspect where it's like it would have been a good spot for Sorel to make this.
That's the thing. It looks like a spot where Sorel might have been light in the first place. So if he was going to pull off some radical bluff, then this would be the spot he'd do it in.
How do you get a hand in this spot? That's like the question. I mean, I know you have a hand. You have to have a hand. I mean, you're such a nit in these spots.
The needle.
Throws in a little insult.
The needle. Wow.
Show. Come on.
Show.
Zero shot. Show is zero shot. Just show one card. Zero shot. Zero shot.
Feldman show.
Feldman's getting bashed up. I mean, if this was a boxing match, they would have stopped it by now. Poor Feldman.
They played, and Timoshenko takes the lead. But I think it's fair to say that they've played 74 hands, and that's the 75th time that Feldman has said show.
Yeah. You're not 100% sure of like one hand.
This is one of those group therapy sessions. And
They're all just, come on guys, they're all feeling pain. Apart from Yevgeny, he's the one dealing the pain. Every one of these situations is created by Mr. Timoshenko.
Well, Feldman's raised this up from the button, and Sorel's decided to flat it. It's odd right now for both Sorel and Yevgeny, of course, when they're playing pots with the others. Because for Mizzy, Feldman's kind of, it's more like a tool, really, than an enemy. Use him wisely. And that's a great flop for Sorel. There's, you know, the number of hands that beat him are minuscule. The ace-king, the aces, that's pretty much it.
C5 bet 24,000.
So he can call and he can raise. As the gears turn. And I guess this is more like a pot control sort of line. Last thing Mizzy wants to do is play a big pot in his mind against Feldman. There's only the big downside of losing to him.
Check.
I think he thinks Andrew is rather useful on the left of Timoshenko. Ooh. Mizzy doesn't like that card, and he's right not to. The betting's been a bit strange, but one thing's for sure, this is going to really hurt, you know, Mizzy as far as the race. It's
Yevgeny will be cheering this one on.
Couldn't have asked for a worse card.
You're not wrong.
Bet 57.
There was a queen would have been worse, but
he's really good in his own way, Sorel. He does not like to waste a chip. I mean, this is a guy who, I mean, you can just imagine how many tournaments he's kept himself in where everyone else would have gone bust.
So what'd you have? What'd you have, Andrew?
What'd you have?
What'd you have?
I had ace jack.
Ace jack? Okay. How much are you playing now?
140.
It must be a little bit tough. I mean, I guess it is, because, you know, there is an argument that, like, obviously this is a long heat, and there is a final that's going to be played at some point that these guys would want to be fresh for it, you know, that they could just kind of gamble it up. The 20,000 or 30,000 extra chips they're going to get is worth something. But, like, you know, Frankenberger's starting to look like this is taking a bit out of him.
Wow.
Oh, well, here we go. They've suddenly got all the chips in.
Right, Frankenberger's all in.
This is going to be such an interesting dynamic.
Good luck.
Thanks.
You mean it?
No.
No, he doesn't mean it.
Is it genuine? Put a 9 up there. Punish him for wishing him good luck.
Put the 9 of diamonds out there.
Not being sincere.
Put the 9 of diamonds.
I believe it's in his hand, but
yeah, to avoid the bar.
It's got to be a 9.
Yeah, we've got 3 outs.
Spades. Or the 9 of clubs.
Oh,
close.
And that's it. Out in fourth, Andy Frankenberger.
Should be interesting.
But he will be at the final table. And not only that, we know how many chips he's going to have, the double points. He's going to get 4 points for going out in fourth. Add that to his 14. He'll have 18. He's going to be in there. And he's coming to get you.
The 2 players I rated the best. You said Yevgeny was the best. So.
Frankenberger. You know what? An amazing presence he has. All eyes are going to be on him in the final, but we've still got plenty to play for here, James.
Yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. It is effectively Timoshenko versus Mizzy heads up, with Feldman in there to ask him some questions now and again. I mean, he doesn't make any difference to them in who goes through. but he can make it. He can be the spanner in the works. You know, he can be in there messing it up.
Andy Frankenberger is definitely through to the final, although you have busted out of this heat. Talk to us about how it went for you today.
Never feels good to bust. Again, I think I'll be okay with it in a couple hours when I look back and say I made the final table, which is what I came here to do. But it never feels good to bust.
Welcome back. We're still trying to decide that last final table spot. Will it be Sorel Mitzi or Yevgeny Timoshenko? Let's go back to the table and find out.
The biggest difference right now, as far as Frankenberger leaving, is how many pots these guys are going to be playing together. They've only played a couple. In fact, let's we can run through them and see that they've generally stayed out of each other's way, which is rare for two people who have to gun for each other.
I fold.
Say 3 pass.
Feldman just.
Can you put it in a box?
He just wants to go to bed, I think.
Call.
I mean, why is he calling with 10-6?
I mean,
you're up against Sorel Mitzi.
Right.
You're out of position. So, I mean, at least have a hand when you play again. 10-6
is going to get him in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Wow. What a flop as well.
Check.
I mean, Sorel must.
I mean, this is.
It's essentially a flip, but Sorel's hand is much more worthy of putting a lot of money in.
Yeah, I mean, he's got an overcard, the card shot, and a flush draw. I mean, he's loving this hand. And it doesn't get much better when you raise with Queen 8 and you've got this. And Feldman, you know, he's at the best he can ever hope for, really. He's hit top pair.
And Feldman has to call. There is nothing you can do but call right now, right?
Call.
Sure enough, he knows this as well. He has to call here. And this is the best he could hope for, and all he's got is a calling hand. You know, he should have folded before the flop, really.
Right.
Check.
So the best he can hope for now is that Mizzy knuckles it on the turn, and then he can try and sort of you're managing your cheap
Get the showdown. Yeah, but I think Sorel's not the kind of player who's going to check back here. He's a very aggressive player. There we go.
You just decide that it's unlikely he can call a barrel.
Yeah, I mean, Feldman's got the best hand he's ever done up here with a 10. And even then, look, Feldman doesn't like this spot. Because if he calls here, what's he going to do on the river? You know, the river can come all number of cards as well. I mean, this is the problem. You're calling with 10-6. You flop the best you can really hope for, and you end up folding the best hand. If you're going to play 10-6, you know, you're going to have to grab on tight when you flop top pair and just keep calling.
And that has brought Sorel basically level with Yevgeny. There is very, very little in it. This is going to be a fight for the ages, and this is what this tournament deserves.
Hmm? Yeah, this is fantastic.
Yeah. Want to know what you had that hand?
Feldman wants to know what he had that hand. There's a surprise.
What did you say? You
no, I mean,
you want to know.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, the great thing for Andrew Feldman is definitely going to want to review. He's going to want to see what everybody had every hand.
Yeah.
He is a hard worker. I mean, you have to say that about him. And Mizzy
finding a pair in the small blind.
Yeah. Oh boy. Now these guys are both. Wow, these guys are both like 40 big blinds deep.
Call.
Oh well. Thankfully for Yevgeny,
50
decided
big
just to
blinds
call. I mean, there are some arguments for raising there to let the other guy bluff, and then you can shovel in. You know, 3-betting to 5-bet as they call it. You know, giving the guy room to put a 4-bet in. Wow. Wow.
Amazing. That's an amazing flop.
What chance do you think we're going to see a 7?
Well, to be honest, a 7 might just end this thing, huh?
Could well be.
Now, what excuses does Yevgeny have for trying to get money in now or not get money in now?
I mean, he's obviously got showdown value. You know, he's got a pair, he's got a draw. He doesn't. I mean, we know for sure he's not folding. I personally think he's going to call. He's going to take one off. I would expect.
Take one off and see what happens on the turn.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a pair, you've got a draw.
And both these players are hoping it's a 7.
And he's counting out a raise.
Wow. Now what?
Wow. I mean,
I mean, I wonder, is a raise so strong that Mizzy should be a little worried about 8s?
I don't think so. I mean, there's enough hands.
I mean, not to pass, but is Mizzy excited to start like shoveling the rest of his stack in with 8s?
I don't think so. Not in a single raise pot. He can never be that happy about having 8s in this board. But I mean, he's beating a lot of hands, like you know, the pair and straight hands.
I mean, Yevgeny's now put 100K in.
Yeah.
It looks.
This pot's getting big.
Right. I mean, it's.
And you've got one pair. You can never be that excited.
And isn't it really funny because Yevgeny is kind of saying, I've either got a lot more than 3s or a lot less than 3s, but 3s is kind of.
That's the kind of thing. It doesn't look like he's got 3s. That's the one thing you kind of think he probably doesn't have.
There is a pot.
376.
It's 376.
Wow.
Wow. Sorrell's gone pot?
I mean,
that's a great, is it a great read or is it?
Wow. I mean, wow.
That was a great play by Sorrell, wasn't
Fantastic play. I mean,
it took a lot of courage, right?
Yeah.
A lot of guts.
But this is it.
He put his tournament. He put his tournament on the line.
Yeah, he was willing to go with the pair in the draw. I mean, it looks like it's easy. Oh, you got no pair in a draw, but it didn't seem.
He could have been good against 2 pair. He could have.
Not going to be. Yeah, he's not bluffing there when he raises Yevgeny. He's not just got, you know, king queen of clubs. You know, a lot of time he's had a hand there.
You knew it was going to come down to the wire, and for Sorrell, Mizzy, just close out Timoshenko, go to the final table. Yevgeny's thinking the same thing, though. And for Feldman, his story is how much trouble can he cause?
Not give you anything. Right.
Players have taken a short break, and just picking up the game where they left off. And
oh, okay.
How do you see that the breaks affected their mental game at all, James, if at all?
Yeah, I don't think it'll make too much difference. Obviously, Sorrell was on a nice little run before the break. But Yeva kind of put a stop to that anyway, so.
Can't remember actually.
Small blind, big blind.
Yeah, Sorrell's going to take one off here for sure. Let's see if Feldman can flop a hand now. That might be a nice start for him.
Yeah, Sorrell's lead over Yevgeny is suspiciously extending.
I mean, this is everything to be a big pot.
That's 37.
I mean, there's no way Feldman's ever folding this hand, and Sorrell could feasibly raise this flop.
And if Sorrell's raising here, he's raising to get it in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, his hand is so good. I mean, he's been playing with Feldman all the way through the championship, so he knows how likely he is to, you know, be barring off in these spots. But Sorrell himself would definitely be barring a jack or a queen if he was in that spot, and that was the turn card. So that's what he's thinking right now.
Well, he's counting out a raise, and I feel like Feldman has to go with it. I mean,
yeah,
he can't call. He only has 300 back. He just has to shove and think that Sorrell can actually fold sometimes.
He's going to shove here, and Sorrell's going to call, and they're off to the races.
Any other play would be just, yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
He's gonna and Feldman
Sorrell's
is.
going to call pretty quickly, I think. If
How much is it?
He's going to ask for a count. It's.
Yeah, he's just making sure. I mean, he's going to try and get a little read, but his hand is so good. You know, there's plenty of worse hands that Andrew will be shoving, but it's pretty much drawing dead to Sorrell. If he's got a 9, he's shoving. Sorrell's got the second best 9, so.
Right.
He's just going to think it through, and he's going to call. But again, this is something Yevgeny is loving. Yevgeny is the only person in the spot who's loving life at the moment. You know, Andrew's in there with a draw, Sorrell's got the top pair.
Right, even without seeing him, Yevgeny knows that Feldman has not done this with zero equity.
Yeah, as soon as Sorrell doesn't snap him off and turn over a full house,
right, yeah.
Yevgeny's loving life.
Yes. Here
we go. So Yevgeny's cheering in a club here. I'll tell you that. He's.
And obviously the overcards as well.
Yeah,
it looks like a flip. I thought the ace-10 suited was actually a slight favorite. Is it because of the king of clubs, maybe?
Yeah, the king of clubs is obviously one of the outs he needs. And Sorrell can end the hand with a 9.
There's the ace.
Wow.
That's bad for Mizzy. Now, wow, he's drawn to a 9 now. The king's no good.
That's really a bad card, obviously, for Sorrell.
A really bad card.
And there we go.
Nice.
I mean, unusually, a club was a better card for Sorrell than an ace, but that's really just semantics. Or maybe it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it would keep the threes as an out.
Yeah, just bizarre. But
I think Sorrell's unlucky there. You know, he set up a situation where Andrew was going to jam with a lot of worse hands, and he just happened to find the one that was, you know, in good shape.
Who will take the last final table seat, Sorel Mitzi or Yevgeny Timoshenko? Find out after the break.
we were talking at the break, James, you know, who's the favorite between Mizzy and Yevgeny. We thought it was pretty even. Do you situationally feel like Yevgeny's got an edge now?
For sure. The way Andrew's playing is playing into the hands of Yevgeny and out of the hands of Sorel. Yevgeny definitely has the edge here, not because of how he's playing, but because of how Andrew's playing. And a really bizarre dynamic.
Just to remind you, it is a straight. This is a straight last longer race between Yevgeny and Sorel. Obviously, there's still chips to be determined at the final table, but much more important is which one of Sorel and Yevgeny are going to the final table. It's whoever lasts the longest in this three-handed.
Yeah, they'd both be quite happy if they were told Andrew wins his heat and they come second. That's what they look at now.
One call.
They don't care who wins. They just care about who comes third or second.
And Mizzy with a call rather than I know the hand flops well, but is that the decision? Is that the reason for the decision? I mean,
again, yeah, it's a hand. He knows he's going to hit a lot of flops or can proceed on a lot of flops, and he also knows he might have a bit of opportunity to push Timoshenko around. Given he knows Timoshenko's picking up easy chips elsewhere, he might not want to put up too much of a fight against Sorel.
Check.
And yeah, you know, Yevgeny's got a bit of showdown value here. Doesn't want to get in an awkward spot against Sorel because he has this good situation working with Andrew. So he checks back.
This pot's rather significant.
Yeah, I mean, every time these guys play a pot, it's double stakes in effect. Chips that Sorel loses and, say, Yevgeny wins, it double, you know, it doubles the difference.
And there is this weird thing. I mean, you feel like in general, guys in this spot are more willing to check back hands with showdown value and bet they're really good hands and they're really bad hands. So is it as simple as that? And Sorel's thinking maybe I shouldn't bet because of that, or
yeah, he'll be thinking there's a good chance that Yevgeny has something here when he's checked back this flop.
Not always, but more than
more than usual, you know.
So it is a bad bluffing spot.
It is a bad bluffing spot. I mean, now he must be onto the fact that Yevgeny
has got at least an ace. At least an ace.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably thinking he has got what he's got, like a 6. I mean, a deuce is unlikely because he's raised, but not impossible. But he'll be thinking Yevgeny has around about the kind of strength hand that he does. And Sorel will know that it's going to be very hard to bluff him off that kind of strength hand. But it's beautiful now. Now he's hit the jack.
Yes, yes, right?
Yeah, this is finally something's gone right for Sorel.
And the truth is that if he does pass here, between him and Sorel, it's still very marginal. I think he's going to go from being ahead 60 to behind 60.
Right.
If he calls and loses here, now he's behind by a factor of changing the whole dynamics of the game.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And obviously the call and win.
He's counting his stack. He's counting Sorel's stack. That's exactly what he's working out
because
now.
the call and
this is exactly what he's thinking. And Sorel's not giving anything up. If you want to know my chips, you count them yourself. Right?
Yeah. Welcome to the big leagues, Fred.
This isn't Sorel who was getting pieces of paper out working out Monty Hall problems. This is the Sorel. And he's cool. I mean, that looked like a kind of mundane hand, but it was fantastic because you can only imagine how many levels Yevgeny was going through whilst he was thinking there.
And the result is advantage Sorel Mizzy on the basis of that river card. He is now back to pole position. It's Yevgeny who has to go to plan B. Sorel Mizzy can now just think, I'll just carry on and let's see if Yevgeny's got anything in his bag of tricks.
Yeah, Sorel's going to, I think, push a little bit here now. He's going to put Yevgeny under pressure, and Andrew, you know, hasn't stopped that happening as of yet. So I think Sorel could really kick on now.
No, but
that was so much bigger than it looked. It was a relatively small pot, but it was huge in terms of changing the dynamic of this table.
Nice, the 75.
Now here's a spot that hasn't happened yet. Yevgeny might want to 3-bet Sorel now. At this point where they've bashed Andrew down, comes a time when they can't really expect Andrew to be a force in this tournament anymore. You know, it's looking more and more like whoever wins between the two of them.
And what are the relative merits of Ace-9 here? Are you is it that I have enough of an advantage that I'm not really happy about getting 20 big blinds in, or?
Oh, cool. Okay.
Wow, you just have absolutely no insight into Yevgeny Timoshenko
I was gonna say, you know,
at all.
it was always a chance he called, because maybe he doesn't know whether Sorel's gonna jam it in, or
he obviously thinks that Sorel is capable of 4-betting him, of going one step up.
Yeah.
This is a Sorel specific play.
This is a situation where he is slightly concerned that Sorel might just outplay him, so he removes the opportunity from Sorel.
And on this board, he has to call one. I mean, that's just part of the dynamics. You just got to go one more time here.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, this is a horrible spot for Timoshenko now. Because as with the jack earlier, this is exactly the kind of card that Sorel's going to barrel at if he doesn't have a hand. I mean, he's just trying to work out what kind of hand Yevgeny has. I mean, at this point, he's discounting the fact that if Yevgeny has a better hand, then he's resigned to the fact, I think, that he'll be doing his stack in this pot. And as he put the chips in, he flashed a glance at Yevgeny to try and get an instant reaction. He's so keen to know what's going to happen right now. He knows for him, this is in effect the tournament. I don't think Timoshenko shies away from putting himself in tough spots. He's confident in his hand reading. But he doesn't mind putting himself in tough spots. Whereas myself, I'd shy away from putting myself in tough spots because I don't want to make mistakes. But look at
that. You'll see it in the blog, I'm sure.
Well, and that's huge for Sorel now. He really has a big lead on Yevgeny now.
You had me? So why the sigh?
Because he had 3.
Reverse.
Now Sorel's just playing with Yevgeny's head.
I feel like I had the best hand.
Ace-Queen?
Yeah. Is Ace-Queen the best hand?
He's wondering what I feel like I had the best hand. He knows he had the best hand. He's just trying to get in Yevgeny's head. He's trying to make Yevgeny think about this hand.
Well, look between them, obviously the chip stack, the most important thing. I think this is the biggest gap in their chips.
Yeah,
James, it's really hard to make. Can you make any of the other statistics? Are they interesting to you? Any of the other numbers?
The key thing here is they're playing a fairly similar game. You know, the total aggression's pretty similar. The steals on that far out. The 3-bets. You know, these two are the best players, I think, in my opinion, in this heat, and they're playing a very similar game. And if you want to, think of a sort of a textbook way to play in these kind of formats, these two guys are doing it. They haven't gone crazy pre-flop early on when it doesn't matter. They're making sure they're in the game when there's just 3 or 4 left, and then really putting some pressure on.
And unfortunately, we did miss the part where Feldman called Sorel's exact 2 cards. 10 high, I think, was his.
Yes, our 10 high. Fantastic. Yes, Andrew. Right again.
Raise to 60,000.
Raise the pot.
Wow. Well, I think now because Timoshenko lost that last one,
he has to kind of go with this. I think now.
Is that? I mean.
Oh God.
Yeah, he has to go at this point. He's got too short. He knows it's on him now to make the move, and he's actually found himself in a really good spot here.
Cool.
And Feldman's called. Feldman realized he'd put too much in to go.
Feldman, I tell you, Feldman wants to win this pot, but Sorel wants him to win it more than Andrew does. That's for sure. Sorel is funking so hard for an ace star, and look how excited he is.
For you as this for me, kind of. So I guess I'll stand. Make it more dramatic.
Timoshenko's not feeling marvelous. He might not have gotten in this spot where he not so far behind Sorel. He might have actually folded the nines.
Yeah, he was forced into. He had to make the move. He had to get chips.
But he's well ahead. He's at least 2-1 here.
Yeah, but he's not liking it. This is this is not a good situation for him. And wow.
That's
wow.
it.
I mean,
that's it. It's Sorel. That's it. It's Sorel. Anything but the 9 or spades.
I'm happy with the 10 of spades, by the way.
I'm not.
Take a 10 of spades.
I like a good sweat.
This is unfortunate.
An ace.
Wow.
You can't do it to me again, Evgeny.
Can't do it again. Andrew, what's he done to you? Well, you made the best hand win. I mean,
can't win with the best hand again.
Yeah, there we go. That's the comment he's making.
Poker wouldn't be fun if the best hand always won.
Well, I mean, this is cruel. I mean, Evgeny played so good, so good.
He did.
And he's just out there thinking, how has this happened? You know, he's unlucky in 2 pots against Sorel there. You know, and then this happens here. He's desperate. I think he might actually be left with a few chips, but I mean, it's all but over.
Very, very few, if any at all. But James, you're so. I mean, so well has Evgeny played in this, and
so this is.
I mean, in fairness,
it's been a pleasure to watch.
I might not look before calling. I'll tell you that.
No, but there's no antes. So.
I think I would have preferred to see for the excitement if Evgeny had held up there, then it would have been they'd be playing heads up for the seat, which would have been really interesting to see these two go out at heads up.
I said that.
But who knows? It's not over yet. He's got 40,000 chips. Stranger things have happened.
That's it. Couldn't have asked for a harder 3.
Yeah,
like the hardest
that hurts. It's a hard way to lose it.
Poker career
To be fair,
on that hand, maybe if I was superstitious, I did like a sort of pattern.
Andrew might.
To be fair, I mean,
I think he has limped in here. You know, they're going to play the game of limp in and check it down.
No,
that's the game they're playing here. Andrew just wants to lock up those extra couple of points, or 3 points in fact, and Sorel needs his seat. So.
And Evgeny's actually got the decision is should Evgeny check or bet the 10K.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, he knows he's going to get the. It's a very small decision, but it could be important. I think he's better off checking
because with the 4-7, there actually may be a flop to fold on.
There might be a situation where he does fold. Yeah, he might end up being checking down to the river, and then he's got 7 high. He knows that can't be good 3-way. As happened, this is the situation. He'll put his last chip in.
Oh, he has to.
I'm all in.
And they're both going to, you know, Andrew's going to call with the Queen 4 for 10,000 more, and obviously Sorel's got top pair. And he ain't going anywhere.
Check.
I think if one of you guys has ace high, you should bet to protect your hand.
There's a side pot. You shouldn't speak. Check.
Come on, I want to see a 7. 7 or a 4.
I do too.
Put the 10 of spades out for a sweat.
Could help me.
Oh, that's it, unfortunately for him. It's going to go check. Sorel thinks, I've got top pair, have I not bet? But he knows the right thing to do is to check him. He wins the pot.
Second pair was a bit of a sweat. And for Evgeny Timoshenko,
for sure, Evgeny might have thought he had the best hand there, but no.
The end of this mixed game championship. I don't think he couldn't have played better in this last heat. It'll be the first 2 heats, only getting 1 point there. That put him under way too much pressure.
He played fantastic.
We've lost Evgeny, and it was a tough 3-handed battle. From your point of view, how are the other players playing, did you think, and how are you playing?
I thought everyone played very well. With the blinds being so high, we were really at the mercy of the cards. Each player plays well enough that even if someone has a slight edge post-flop or a slight edge with how they play their hands pre-flop, it was really anyone's game because the blinds were so high.
Nah, he's not that sick. You even said he plays very tight in those kind of spots.
And
no, that was a completely different spot.
Andrew's trying to engage Sorel in conversation about a hand, and Sorel's just given up trying to placate him. He's just no, you don't know what you're talking about. Just leave me alone.
What I love about Sorel is that the pretense is basically gone.
Yeah, he's, you know, usually when you're at the table, if you think you've got a weaker player, you're supposed to just sort of nod along, and he's just given up doing that. He's just given up. He's just like, he's being honest. He's just like, no, Andrew. And look at this. First hand, he's got the aces, and Andrew's called the razor Queen 8. Wow, and he's got the flush draws. Could be over in one hand.
Might get it all in here. But calling with the Queen 8, are they deep enough for that? Or
it's okay. not wild about it, but it's okay. Queen 8 suited, it's okay. The 30 big blinds deep, it's, you know, it flops okay, heads up.
Raise the pot.
And here we go. It's going to be over in one. They're going to be all in one hand, I imagine here.
Yeah.
Andrew's just Snapchat raising the pot. I mean, it's pretty obvious he doesn't have better than one player when he does that. Cyril knows the aces are good here. It's just a question of what he's up against and how to play here.
Of course.
There you go. Cyril straight. And you got a flush draw, and Andrew's trying to pretend I don't have a flush draw. He goes, oh, of course. But Cyril knows what's going on here when he just check raises the pot. I mean, doesn't consider any of the bet size.
Of course, I'm not folding. I just want to play the final now.
Mine. Cool.
There we go.
I thought they'd already gone all in.
No,
I thought when he goes all in, of course. I thought.
To be honest, I'm just
there we go. It could be over in one hand.
Final, just.
Well, if it's not one hand, it's going to be two because pretty much all the chips are in the center of the pot.
Wow, and I mean,
Jack of Hearts.
You got a redraw. Oh yeah.
Incredible. He's turned the flush, but Cyril can still win with any heart but the jack.
Right.
Jack of Hearts giving Andrew a straight flush if it were to come.
I think this is going to be quite fitting if Andrew Feldman ends up winning this heat.
There she is.
There it is.
Wow.
Cyril, I think.
But it is Cyril Mizzi. And
Justice is served.
Justice was served. He's right there.
It's the second heads up I played last.
Interestingly enough, 8 points for Cyril is still going to give him 16. So even though he's won this heat, James, I think he's going to be the shortest stack at the final table. But obviously, delighted to get
He's
there.
just happy to be there, yeah.
And a well-deserved win for Mizzi. Let's have a look at how Group B finished up. Andrew Feldman, top of the league with 24 points. Andy Frankenberger with 18, and Cyril Mizzi with 16. Those three are going to the final table. Their points converted to chips at the rate of 20,000 chips per point. The three who didn't make it are Mike Sexton on 10 points, Timoshenko finishing with 7, and Ben Carpenter bottom of this pool with 4 points.
I feel really good as a big underdog, even though I'm going into the final table with few chips, or like the least chips, I think. I'm still glad to be there.
After coming second, Andrew Feldman is now tied for first place at the final table, so you're in a pretty good position here.
Yeah, I mean, going into the final table with 24 points is going to be a strong position, but to be honest, I don't think it will count for too much. I'm just delighted to have got the top 2 finish, which is what I was hoping for, as is a big jump difference, and I'm very excited for the final later on.
And here's how it'll look when the final table commences. Points now converted to chips. James Dempsey and Andrew Feldman will be co-chip leaders on 480K. Pescatore, Matt Giannetti, and Andy Frankenberger will be average stacked, while Cyril Mizzi just happy to be there. What build-up, what drama for the final.
So we have our final table lineup. Cyril Mizzi joins Max Pescatore, Andrew Feldman, Andy Frankenberger, James Dempsey, and Matt Giannetti at the felt. Join us next time as we take a step closer to crowning our first ever mixed game champion.
There will be a bet. The question is how much?
That's brutal.
I honestly don't know what the right play is.
I think I have the more chips. Omaha, please.
I've never said it before, but one time.
Yes! It's like never easy for you, man. It's never easy.
It's an absolute joke.